Hey guys, John here with another little installment of our Thoughts on Walks. Okay, so I want to talk for a minute about this Jennifer Aniston thing and her comments about Marvel. But before I get to her comments, let me say this first up front. We, as comic book movie fans, can be big babies sometimes. Like, if some celebrity comes out and says anything that isn't absolutely glowing about our precious comic book movies, we get all mad. How dare you say something bad about my favorite DC film? You know, something along those lines. Personally, I don't have an issue when a celebrity or a filmmaker or an actor doesn't like comic book movies. So, you say, hey, comic book movies, I don't like them or whatever. That's fine. That's their opinion. They're allowed not to like them. The only time I sometimes have an issue with it is when there seems to be a principle behind what they're saying that doesn't line up with reality. And that brings us to Jennifer Aniston's comments. Now, you can go read what she said, but basically, she was being asked about her new show she's got coming out on the new Apple TV Plus, and they were talking about that. And they basically asked her, how have things changed and all that kind of stuff. And she went on to talk about how the movie-going experience is so changed now because all these Marvel movies, and, I'm not interested in living on a green screen and stuff like that. She then goes on to basically lament the bygone days of wishing we could go back to the days of Meg Ryan, wishing we could go back to the days of terms of endearment. And it's that comment that basically reveals how they're missing the point. See, with some people who just don't like comic book movies, that's fine. But to some of these people who disparage comic book movies, they talk as if it's comic book movies that are preventing people from going to see their movies. There seems to be this underlying belief that if all these people weren't going to Marvel movies, they'd be going to my movies, or they'd be going to the types of movies that I enjoy. The only reason the movies and the types of cinema that I enjoy aren't making billions of dollars is because everybody's going to go see those darn Marvel and DC movies. What they're missing is those movies never made $1 billion on their own. What they're missing is that even before comic book movies became the most dominant genre in the business and made $1 billion after $1 billion after $1 billion, is that even before all that, people weren't going out to see Meg Ryan movies at $1 billion a shot. Now, I'm not disparaging Meg Ryan movies because I love Meg Ryan movies. I really do. I love Terms of Endearment. I love a lot of those movies that Jennifer Aniston loves. But she seems to be confusing that, if only all this attention wasn't being given to comic book movies and people weren't flocking out to see those, my movies would be doing better. You know what it reminds me of? Here's a good analogy for it. She's like a girl who has a guy she has a crush on, and she believes if that guy wasn't dating the other girl, he'd come and be with me. Or the crazy guy who thinks, the only reason that girl's not going out with me is because she's going out with that other guy. If that other guy just wasn't there, she'd be going out with me. When in reality is, no, buddy, she was around a long time before she started dating that other guy, and she still wasn't with you. And that's the point that I think Jennifer Aniston and a lot of these other types of people, not types of people who just don't like comic book movies, that's fine, but a lot of them seem to have this misconception that if only comic book movies weren't there, they'd go see more Meg Ryan movies, and that's just not the case. Now, don't misunderstand me. I don't want to make it sound like I don't like Jennifer Aniston. I do. I love Jennifer Aniston. I loved her in Friends. I liked her in We're the Millers. I liked her in Horrible Bosses. I like her in a lot of stuff. And I don't want to besmirch her or, make it sound like she can't have an opinion. I'm just trying to get the point across that, listen, Jennifer, if you think that the reason we don't have the good old days of Terms of Endearment is because we have movies like Marvel movies and DC movies and big comic book genre movies around, you're sorely mistaken. If these movies disappeared, you wouldn't suddenly get billion-dollar films for these other genres of films. As a matter of fact, you might want to start appreciating the fact that these big blockbuster movies like Marvel movies are getting people into the theater, and maybe by extension they'll go see some other films as well. Anyway, that's just kind of the way I'm looking at it. That's the way I think Jennifer Aniston is missing the point. What do you guys think? Maybe I'm missing the point. Jump down to the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. And that'll do it for this little installment of Thoughts on Walks.